Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my book club slash podcast video. I'm actually not going to be making this video an audio for the podcast, so it will be exclusively for this YouTube channel, really just for the book club. I definitely have to update the book club because I owe y'all. I haven't talked to you guys since telling you guys that I was going to be reading Piranesi and that I was going to be starting a book club. So all of those things are still true. I did start the book club. We're actually right now we're reading The Appeal by Janice Hallett. Today is actually what's today's date? Today is February 21st. I don't know if you can even see the date. Can you see the date? Yes, February 21st. It's 11:16 in the morning. I've been up for a little bit, but I wanted to just get everything ready. I'm having my coffee. So cheers to all my coffee drinkers. Today I wanted to update everybody because I know that I said that I was going to do a video on all of the self-help books that I read previously, and then I wanted to update you guys on the self-help books that made it to my to be read list for 2022 for personal, or maybe I'll do a few for the book club. There is one of those books that's on this list that is actually the next read for the book club for March. So I'm really excited. Right now in the book club, we are reading The Appeal by Janice Hallett. So I'm really excited about this book. I literally just started reading it last night. I've been so busy, so tired, and just like not really, I don't want to say not in a reading mood, because once I did open up this book and actually give myself a moment to just read and just be with myself, a pillow and a book, I was actually able to get through it. So I read the first 50 pages last night, and I'm going to be doing a video, basically a little reading party with you guys about the first 50 pages, what you guys think is happening so far, and what you guys predict for the future. So yeah, I really am digging this book so far, and I'll tell you guys more about it, like the structure of how it's written and everything, more so in that video. But today, like I said, I just wanted to talk about the books that I am going to be reading, and then let you guys also know. Actually, I'm going to let you guys know about the books that I've already read first. So I don't have any title pictures for these books, but in the past, I've read The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker. And I'm looking to the side over here because I have my notes where I wrote down everything, but then I also have my Kindle here. So I might be able to pull up the covers for you guys. But The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker is super old. I think it was written in like the 50s. But I came across this book when I was in my mode of wanting to thrive as an entrepreneur and really, looking to change my mindset around being an entrepreneur. If anyone out there is an entrepreneur, or like they have like an entrepreneurial spirit, then you guys will understand me when I say, like, sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, and you feel like there's just so much to do, so little time, and there's just so many responsibilities. And so I was looking for ways to basically be effective, like in everyday life, to really get stuff done, but like the things that matter. And this book really changed my life. It is like still things that I picked up from this book that I still apply to my everyday life. Like, amazing book. Very the way it's written is very just like informal and informative. So I wouldn't say it's like one of those books where you're gonna love reading it. Like, I guess I just was in this time in my life where I was looking for the information that was in the book. So that's what got me through it. Definitely I don't want to say a long, boring read, because it's interesting if you're into that type of stuff. But The Effective Executive basically just shows you or tells you how to be effective. So one of the main things that I picked up from this book was basically like when we have meetings with other people. So like, say for example, I wanted to have somebody on the podcast. The effective executive explains why you need to know what you're meeting about. You need to know everything that you're going to say in that meeting before you even have the meeting. Like, the meeting shouldn't be about figuring out getting on the same page with the other person you're meeting with, right? Because then that's a waste of a meeting. If you can get everything done and have the meeting be literally for just questions that you have, or, fine tooth combing it, then that will be the most effective meeting. Because if I were to meet with someone that I wanted on the podcast, let's say we met for the first time, and then we're just talking about random topics and I'm learning, their name, I'm learning what they're into. We're going to have to then set aside another meeting to then talk about what we want to talk about. It's like, once we get through the first steps of that. So this book basically says that first meeting you need to go into that first meeting already knowing their name, already knowing what they like, already, you know what I mean? Already having a basis of really what the meeting is going to be about. So the meeting needs to serve as a purpose to either answer questions that you don't know, or to move it forward, but not to talk about things or go over things that really could be settled without being face to face with that person or having that meeting. There's so many other great key things in this book, like just how to be effective in everyday life. And I when I tell you, I literally still to this day, and I think I didn't even read this book, and I think I read this book in like 2019 or something, 2018. So it's been a while, but I definitely had to put it on this list because it is one of those things. It's changed my life because I still use it today. So let me take a sip of my coffee. You guys also know that I've read You've Got to Be Hungry by Les Brown. More recently, I've read that book. And I told you guys the story of how I came about it. I was looking at my father's album book, and he was in there with his friends. And like back in the day, my dad used to like cut out like captions from like magazines, or like just like captions that you would find on like anything really. And he would use them as picture captions, like in an album book. And the caption it was him and his friends, and they were all like flexing their muscles. And the caption underneath said, "You've got to be hungry," which is wild. But then I go on my Amazon Kindle, and this book was recommended by me through Amazon Kindle. Like off of the things that you read, they'll recommend you things. Les Brown is actually one of the world's best motivational speakers, like renowned motivational speakers. So I was like, oh my God, like what are the chances? Like, this is a sign that I need to read this book. So that's how I came across reading that book. Very good book. It was an easy read. It went through really smoothly. And it was one of those books where you just read it every day. You know what I mean? And the more, like, every day when you're reading it, you're just feeling inspired to keep going. So it was like good to like have a few chapters of that book within my day when I was reading it. I just remember it keeping me motivated. It just kept me motivated. It was just like saying, like, you've got to be hungry. Like, nothing's going to change on its own. Like, you have to be that person, that thing that is going to shake shit up, And I love that because it was like just so good to read something like that. Especially if you're like feeling like you don't know what to do next, or feeling a little stuck or suspended. Like, this book, You've Got to Be Hungry by Les Brown, is great. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. I read that book. It was a really good book. I've read it probably 2 years ago at this point. And yeah, I what's so crazy is I don't think I remember too much about it. I think though that some of the key points of it were basically like, screw what everyone else is talking about. Like, you're going to feel like a failure. You're going to have people tell you no. You're going to have people doubt you. But fuck all of that and just believe in yourself and just do what you need to do. Like, that was the whole gist of the book. So I liked it. I really did like it. I've also read Ignore Everybody and 39 Other Ways to Creativity. And that one's by Hugh McLeod. That one was a really good book. The guy basically was saying how just like giving, I guess, his advice on how to be creative and how to continually feed that creativity, or just be that I don't want to say a child childish soul, but like childish, like to be just free and happy to be able to create and do whatever you want to do and ignore everyone. And I believe, if I can remember, now I've read this book a while ago too, but if I can remember, um, he was like some kind of like professional worker, and he would like doodle on napkins, and then eventually his doodles, he was able to actually further his life with just being creative, something that he loves to do, that just comes natural to him. And how to just ignore everyone, like ignore all of the hoopla that's around you when it comes to just really focusing on your creativity. So I love this book. The last two books on the books that I've already read are Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by Curtis Jackson and The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. So Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by 50 Cent or Curtis Jackson. He's basically explaining not his entire story, but just his story of how he was so hungry when he wanted to get a record deal, and how, he would go to Interscope Records and talk to all of the business execs, and he would go above and beyond his job. Like, it was just his job to be an artist and a performer, yet he made it his business to know everyone and to see where he can help and where he could grow within the music business. And if we see Curtis Jackson today, he is a business mogul, and he's doing more than just music, right? And the Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter book, it really just sheds a little bit of light on how, he's able to obtain all that he's doing in his career, because it's just the mindset that he has of, okay, yeah, you hired me to wash dishes, but I'm going to come in here, I'm going to wash the dishes, I'm going to talk to the cook, figure out what he got going on, I'm going to talk to the person who is, seating tables, I'm going to, I'm going to talk to everyone in this establishment is going to know who I am as this dishwasher. And if ever, there's a situation where I can advance or help someone, whatever, I you know what I mean, I'll be able to do that, and I'll be able to move and finagle. Or I'm a dishwasher here, if you guys shut down, well, I know everyone in this building, so this person can help me do that thing or the other. Just like learning everything you can, even if it's not in your job description to do so, just being hungry and being a go-getter and making life work for you. So 50 Cent, that book was a good read. And then The Miracle Morning, I actually didn't read it. I listened to it. So I have an audiobook. I've listened to The Miracle Morning probably at least 5 times. Probably 7 or 8, but I'm going to say at least 5 times I listened to this book. It was a very nice listen. I think you can listen to it in about 2 hours. It's basically just telling you how to structure your morning to change your life. And the book is called The Miracle Morning, and it's about this guy who, he almost died. He had, this very life-changing experience where it's like, you almost die, and now you want to make every day count, right? And how to do that, make your bed in the morning and drink your water and exercise every day, and just certain things that kind of keeps your mind sharp and keeps your body good and stuff. And I loved it. I like that. I listened to it a bunch of times. And one of the things that I took from this book, which is so random, but the making your bed one, to make your bed every morning, because making your bed, I think it says something in the book about how making your bed is like completing sleep for the night. So if I wake up and I don't make my bed, it's kind of like my mind is still in bed. My mind is still in sleep mode. So I have to make my bed, do my pillows all cute and pretty. And then it's like, all right, my mind understands. You're up now. Sleep is over. Playtime is over. So that's one thing I definitely took from this book. And I loved it. So that was The Effective Executive, You've Got to Be Hungry, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, Ignore Everybody, and 39 Other Ways, or 39 Other Keys to Creativity, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, and The Miracle Morning. So those 6 books are books that I've already read that are kind of self-helpish. I recommend all of them. But out of the 6, my top 2 that I would recommend, man, that's actually really hard. So I think it all depends on the type of person you are, but just for me personally, like in the amounts of how they've affected my life, the top two for me would be the effective executive, of course, and man, the effective executive, and I want to say hustle harder, hustle smarter, because it's just like one of those things where just taking things into your own hands basically, and like the effective executive is teaching you how to take things into your own hands to be the best that you can be. So now let's get started. All right, I'm so excited. Let me sip my coffee. I'm going to tell you guys the 6 books that are on my to be read list that are self-help for 2022. I'm really excited. So we know that it's February 21st. I'm not sure when you guys are going to get this video. I think y'all are going to get this video tomorrow. But either way, good morning, good morning, good morning. And let's get into it. So for March, the book club will be reading You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. So these 3 books right here are the three books that I'm going to first talk about. So You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero is actually the first book that I found that I was interested in reading. So I actually took a few screenshots so I can give you guys like just a little of what is actually going down in this book. So this book, the summary says, You Are a Badass aims to help you identify and change the self-sabotaging beliefs and behaviors that stop you from getting what you want. Blast past your fears so you can take big, exciting risks. Figure out how to make large sums of money and learn to love yourself and others. So that is the book club read for March. Grab you a copy because we're reading it. It's going down. And yeah, really excited. So the second one is Atomic Habits, as you guys can see on the screen. And that one's by James Clear. So Atomic Habits, I'm really interested because it says here, give me a second. I have to find. Okay, here it is. The summary says, an atomic habit is a regular practice or routine. That is not only small and easy to do, but is also the source of incredible power, a component of the system of compound growth. Bad habits repeat themselves again and again, not because you don't want to change, but because you have the wrong system for change. So Atomic Habits it's like basically what I heard about it is that it's like the blueprint of how to build and break habits. So, I mean, I got some bad habits. Do you have some bad habits? Because if you have bad habits like how I have bad habits, let's read Atomic Habits together. I definitely think that this might be a book club read, but I'm not 100% sure because my compadres in the book club, they're not too big on self-help type of books. So, You Are a Badass was definitely a recommendation from one of the book club members. And, since it was already on my personal list, I'm like, let's do it because I was excited to have someone in the book club actually want to read a nonfiction. But Atomic Habits, I'm not really sure that it will be a book club pick, but I will still let you guys know when I read it because let's read it together. If you're down, I'm down. Boom. The next book is The Alchemist, and I'm sure you guys probably heard about it already, by Paulo Coelho. And this covers actually the 25th anniversary edition. So this book is super old. So you probably heard of it. I've heard of it, but I've never read it. So I just have to read it. And it's probably not a self-help book, but I think it's like a motivational read type of situation. Hold on, guys. My little brother is about to enter the frame. Let me see if I can hide him, actually. It's okay. All right. So I'm so silly, guys. I didn't need to hide him. I just wanted to. Okay. The Alchemist. It's not a self-help book, but it's like a motivational read. And so basically the summary says, and okay, The Alchemist follows a young shepherd in his journey to the pyramids of Egypt after having a recurring dream of finding a treasure there. So, yeah, I just want to read it. I hear that it's like a great story. No one really wants to ruin the ending for me. So I'm really excited to read that book. Can you do me a favor and can you grab my computer charger? Because my computer is about to die. I hope it doesn't die on you guys. Thank you. Can you plug it into the wall right there? Thanks. You're the best. Let me just plug us in. All right, we're back. Oh, almost dropped my phone. All right, we're back in business. So now the next 3 books that are on my 2022 TBR are The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown, The Latte Factor by David Bach, and The 4 Agreements by Don Ruiz, which his name is Don Miguel Ruiz. Okay, let me stick to my notes. So let me just tell you a little bit about these books. I'm really excited to read these. So as far as the book club reading, I think The 4 Agreements is probably a book club read. Everything else is probably just a personal type of read, but let me get into why they're on my list. So The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. It is a motivational and inspiring guide to wholeheartedly living rather than just the average self-help book. And it says, now more than ever, we all need to cultivate feelings of self-worth, as well as acceptance of love for ourselves. In a world where insults, criticisms, and fears are spread too generously, alongside messages of unrealistic beauty, attainment, and expectation, we look for ways to dig deep and find truth and gratitude in our lives. A new way forward means we can't hold on too tightly to our own self-defeating thoughts or the displaced pain in our world. Instead, we can embrace the imperfections. So this is just like, really, I want to gear it more towards self-love, and just being able to love your imperfections and love who you are, and not be so caught up on who you want to be, and just embrace who you are, So The Latte Factory by David Bach is actually like a money book kind of, but I put it in self-help because I feel like I can probably take something from it that'll enhance my life and kind of like help me, right? So The Latte Factory, it says The Automatic Millionaire, The Latte Factor. Why you don't have to be rich to live rich. I don't know why I keep calling it The Latte Factory. I mean, let me take a sip of my coffee. Latte Factor, The Latte Factor. So why you don't have to be rich to live rich. This book is basically, let me find the summary. I do have it here. Okay. It says 1 sentence summary. The Latte Factor teaches us how to overcome limiting beliefs about money and build our financial freedom through small daily choices. If you can afford your daily latte, you can afford to realize your dreams. It shows that you can start investing even if you think you don't have any spare money. So I'm definitely going to be reading that book. Listen, I really don't know what's going to make it to the book club picks, but these are what's on my list. Let me know if you've read any of these books. The last book is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. He also has a book called Mastery of Love, which talks about, it says it illuminates the fear-based beliefs and assumptions that undermine love and lead to suffering and drama in our relationships. So The 4 Agreements, the same author who wrote that, he also wrote The Mastery of Love. And I think I'm very interested in reading that, but I did not put it on this list because it's more of like a self-love type of book. And then I didn't want to put 2 from the same author. I'm definitely going to read The 4 Agreements first. So The 4 Agreements, it says, in The 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz reveals the source of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and create needless suffering. Based on ancient Toltec wisdom, the Four Agreements offers a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives to a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and love. So super excited, super excited. Someone said that one of the four agreements was like not to make any assumptions or something like that, which don't be making no assumptions. But no, I just thought that was great. And I was like, oh, that's like a good agreement to live by. Like, just don't make no assumptions. I wonder what the other three are. I'm really excited to read it. Let me know if you're going to be reading it with me. So that pretty much concludes, the books that I'm reading, the books that I'm going to be reading. And starting March 1st, which is in like a week, I will be reading You Are a Badass, this yellow book right there. That one right there. We're going to be reading that in March. Grab you a copy. I'm actually probably going to order a few paperbacks. I think the paperbacks were like $8.99 on Amazon. So I'll probably just order maybe like 5 copies to give to the book club instead of having everyone do their own book. I don't know. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling good. $8.99 is not a bad price. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm going to get my day started. It is Monday, February 21st. The time is now 11:41, and I actually have a bunch of errands to run today and some hair appointments. So I have a wax appointment and some highlights that I will be doing today. I have to run to the DMV to return license plates for my old car. I need to return those ASAP because I can't, keep them for too long and then I'll forget that I have them and then they'll think that I stole the license plates. So I want to go and return those. And what else do I need to do today? I have homework, of course. I always have homework, a bunch of homework. I'll be doing notes and stuff. And I will be updating you guys on The Appeal by Janice Hallett that I did start reading. I want to do the first 50 pages. So look out. I'm going to be showing some more face soon. All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.